So we're all human beings, and in fact, we get things wrong. It happens to me quite a bit, and one of the things that I've learned throughout sort of my time on this earth is to protect my downside by diversifying, being creative, and not depending on any one thing, because if I do, I could be wrong. And I want to start with this is because if you take a look at the headlines today, Social Security is now expected to run short of cash by 2033. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that only expect Social Security to be there and only sort of depend on Social Security to be for the retirement. And I think, it would be a real risk if you're only depending on that because you could be wrong. You can take a look at this, another headline. Social Security and Medicare funds still face long-term shortfalls, report says. And the basic gist of it is by 2033, we're talking about Social Security here, may only have enough money to pay 77% of the scheduled benefits. So basically, we don't have enough money coming in. So why am I talking about getting things wrong in Social Security is because I want you to be thinking about, okay, when you're talking about your retirement, you're talking about saving, for your future, saving for a house, these kind of things, you can't expect on any one thing. And in fact, which should be our most dependable program, Social Security may not necessarily be there when I retire. It may not be. It's not guaranteed. And this makes sort of investing and saving even more important because, again, we could be wrong. And I know it's kind of a sad thing to talk about, but this is something that it was in the issues in politics in 2000, probably an issue again. And I told you guys if I ever run, this would be issue number one, protecting Social Security. I think it's key. If you want to read the report, it's actually on the Social Security website. You can see here a summary of 2022 annual reports. They go through all kinds of stuff. Fertility, basically, how many kids we're having is going down, but also the death rate is going down. So it is actually really interesting, and they look at all kinds of stuff regarding this because you want to think about, okay, how long are people living? How many more new people are coming in? How many workers are going to pay for the people retiring? How long are people living? It's actually quite complicated. You'll look at nutrition, diseases, obesity, cigarettes, all kinds of things are in this chart. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but I just want to give you a general sense if you don't want to read it. But yes, there is some concern that Social Security is running out of money. So they're going to have to change something, either figure out a way to put more money in or cut benefits. That's one of the two. And so again, I think because you can't just rely on one thing, right? If you just rely on Social Security, you could be wrong. And in fact, I wouldn't bet on just Social Security, only on that because it's probably not going to be enough. And also too, with inflation, they keep raising the current payout for people. So that could even make it go down faster in terms of the funds available. And I hope you guys understand the meaning of this, right? You just can't count on anything these days. And this is sort of why what you can count on, to be pretty frank, is yourself and protecting yourself. So, the inflation data came out today, the headlines, it's still high. It dropped a little, right? I think the PCE, that's the one that Fed looks at, I think it was like at 5%, something like that. Remember, they're trying to get it down to 2%. So as the Fed keeps saying, they're probably going to keep interest rates elevated for quite some time. My estimate, if I had to guess, is going to stay 5% the rest of the year. That'd be my guess. And then maybe the next year they'll talk about cutting. Who knows? But I wouldn't necessarily bet it on any time sooner than that. Another thing too, which when talking about putting all your eggs in different things, not all in one basket. I bonds. There's an interesting thing coming out. I didn't realize there was a change in I bonds. Evidently, the way these things work, part of the I bonds is tied to inflation, and the other part has like a base rate. And I guess they raised the base rate. Before it was 0, but now it's 0.4. So they're saying the newer I bonds are going to be okay. So the reason why I mentioned that the newer ones are going to be okay because the previous ones, what was it, 9.62%. I talked about it last year. I made several videos, but nobody watches them because, bonds aren't exciting, even though they beat the market by like 30%. But hey, what do I know? And it's not crazy. Again, because you can't trust on one thing, think about different things to be putting your money in. And sort of what I want to share with you guys is, I've been in this game a long time. And one of the best lessons I learned, say, from Mr. Buffett would be just don't lose money, right? You want to preserve wealth and just keep adding on to that. And essentially what you're doing is you're ensuring your success. You're not, gambling with this stuff. You're not playing Lotto. You're like basically saying, okay, what's my best chance of success and how can I keep pushing forward and saving, right? Another thing I want you guys to be thinking about as well. And again, I know a lot of other channels don't talk about this stuff, but I mentioned it too. You can take a look at CDs. I was looking at this stuff. It's actually really interesting. So this is certificate deposits. We've been doing this stuff, just kind of stacking them because again, yes, you can trade in the market. You can totally make money trading it. You totally can, but you're not YOLOing on anything. You're guaranteeing you have a certain base that's going to keep growing. And then, yes, if you have extra money, you can put it into other more riskier things. But again, you want to think, don't throw your eggs in one basket. And we'll get to sort of why the market is really risky compared to some more safer things. So evidently, some of these CDs are paying anywhere from 4, and I think there were some at 5. I was seeing, there were some at 5. And I saw some crazy stuff. If you Google best CDs, it was like some were advertising 6. You have to look at the details of that stuff. I'm not telling you like any specific one to get. I'm just saying take a look at variety of things out there, because right now there are so many different choices to put your money. You also want to be talking about paying down debt, which we've talked about many times, because interest rates are going up. And I think especially people who have, say, credit card or even auto loans, like used car auto loans are like 20% interest rate was the max. It was like crazy high. We just looked at it yesterday. But this is sort of thing. And, the reason why I mentioned sort of like, I can't keep straight face. Sorry, I mentioned like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't count on any one thing, right? Diversify, be a little bit creative. And what I mean by that is like, look outside the box, because sometimes some people get stuck in a box. So this is a guy named Dead Inside. He bet all his money on Astra Space. And like he just made a video, is it delisting? Big loss ever. The headlines of these things. Delisting in days. Will I lose $560,000? It's like a crazy amount of money to lose. And this was the headline just a few weeks ago. Astra outlines its plan to avoid NASDAQ delisting, including possible reverse stock split. And it's like if you're putting so much money into a particular company and it's like extremely risky bet, it's like zero hero kind of thing. It's not a great way to live because you're not ensuring success, right? You're going for that full court / half court shot, the 80-yard field goal. And yes, if you get the 80-yard field goal, it's fantastic. You're a hero, but like, what are your odds in that? And so this is something that is managing risk is sort of, you're saying, okay, what are my chances? What's the probability that I'm going to get that 80-yard field goal? What's the probability that the satellite company or rocket company or whatever it is, it's a space company, it is going to become the next NASA? What's the probability that, it could happen. It totally could. But this is sort of why you need to think about managing risk, right? This is something that, a lot of people really got sucked into, right? This Astra Space is down 95%, only a one-way ticket, you guys can see. And it's the same way too. You got to be careful because unfortunately, people make money off selling you garbage. That's a real thing. That's why I warn you guys about, so many people on YouTube doing these kind of things. And they kind of get you into thinking of like, oh, well, if you're young and you're hip and you're cool, you're only getting rocket companies because rockets are the future, bro. And that's sort of how they portray it. And I know, guys, I really know, you come to my channel, it seems like boring. Why are we talking about bonds and CDs and saving money and Social Security? Like, that's just boring. I want to buy rockets. I want to buy dogs with coins on it or coins with dogs on it. Either one. Yes, people do put coins in their dogs, I guess. But, it's any number of things. And, I want to just sort of illustrate the risks of this stuff because I get it, guys. I get it. It's really cool to talk about these kind of things, but I want you to be successful. That's sort of why I illustrate risks. I want you to be successful. I want you to be thinking, okay, what are my other options out there? Yes, I want you to invest because Social Security is probably not going to be there in the same way that I would like it to be, but I can't count on that, right? And so this is sort of why you want to be thinking about, okay, what else can I be doing? And what can I be doing that has a high chance of success, right? Take those layups, take those guaranteed things. If you're playing with this Bed Bath & Beyond stuff, you're down again. They announced something, what is it? Bankruptcy, new offering. So they're going to try to raise more cash. They need $300 million or something like that. Another one, Nikola, they had some crazy news. They're down a whole bunch, one-way ticket. Beyond, we're also talking about Virgin Orbit, 97% down, one-way ticket. They're laying off a whole bunch of people, 85% staff. And I was thinking about this sort of topic yesterday when, the whole Trump indictment came out and you have all these people vehemently defending Trump and saying, oh yeah, he's innocent. And I just feel like there's people out there that just put all their eggs in one basket. They act like that is the only candidate in the world. And it's funny because I kind of think of politicians like the stock market. I don't have to bet on any one candidate. I don't have to bet on any one stock because if you do and you're wrong, you could be like Virgin Orbit and down. If we guys understand the importance of what we're talking about here, even something like this, it might seem like a sure thing. Like Micron seemed like a legit company, like a legit investment. And now they're having problems in China, and chances are they probably didn't do anything wrong. This is in the news, China's saying, hey, maybe there's cybersecurity problems with Micron, you U.S. company, you're spying us, kind of stuff. And the U.S. Because this is sort of retaliation because they put sanctions on Huawei, and essentially we make it a chips war or whatever, and that's why we're sort of bringing chip manufacturing back to the USA. And again, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because I can't tell what's going to happen with U.S.-China relations. I can't tell what's going on in the chips. But, I could have some exposure to chips, but, maybe a little bit, not all of it. And just sort of why I want to get your mind thinking in this way of both downside risks, of Social Security, of, listening to the wrong people, these kind of things, is because if you bet so much on one horse, you can lose. Yes, you can win, but you can also lose. And this is sort of why you want to think about, okay, I want to manage my money and manage my risk in a way that makes sense. Take the sure thing to protect yourself so that you're not going to be like, these guys up here. And I have to mention it because you have to understand that, yeah, some people lose everything. Like this guy's crazy. And there's a chance he was paid to pump that stock. There's a chance. I don't know, but I'm saying there is a chance because you never know with this kind of thing. Even Michael Burry's like, you know what? I was wrong to tell investors to sell. That just came out, just a day or so ago. And, even the best people, right? And I know people really admire Michael Burry. It happens. You're not right on every single thing. And again, don't bet all your eggs in one basket. And it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to change your mind. And regarding the whole Trump thing, I wonder, are people crazy? I mean, he's going to come up with no handcuffs, say he's not guilty and all, right? Which is fine. But I wouldn't necessarily be betting on him winning or losing. I just don't want to put my eggs in one basket. And I wouldn't be vehemently defending someone who's got all these, multiple cases of problems and doing, essentially not so great things. And people like to say, oh, Chris, you're so stupid. It's only one side. And I'm just going to tell you guys, it's not true. There's lots of bad things out there. Like look at this Bober person. If you know who this is, I guess her son's 17, got someone pregnant, and now she's a grandmother at 36. And if you know her history, she was a teen mom, high school dropout. She had a couple of arrests, and now she's a representative. And it's like, what are we doing here? And it reminds me of the whole stock situation. It's like, why are we hanging out with Vorb stock or Astra Space when we could just find something else? Why are we hanging out with Bober when we could just find something else? And it's the same thing too, right? You have a Bill O'Reilly person, a bunch of trouble. Why would you want to hang out with this person when you can just find someone else? Same way, Matt Lauer. Why hang out with this person? You can find something else. You guys see what I'm saying here? Like don't hang out with loser stocks or loser people when you can find something else. Harvey Weinstein, you can find someone else, right? And guys, it's all kinds of people. Andrew Tate, why hang out with him? We can find someone else, Andrew Cuomo. And yeah, see, look at Democrats can have problems too. And I'm not like all day, every day saying, oh my God, guys, Andrew Cuomo's innocent. Do I ever say that? No, because you look stupid. And it's the same sort of way with stocks or defending, losers. You look like a loser if you defend a loser. So don't do it. Chris Cuomo, he was defending his brother, like doing crap. They're doing crap together. Just get rid of him and go find someone else, right? R. Kelly, he's like doing a bunch of crap too. Get rid of him. Go find someone else. Bill Cosby, get rid of him. Go find someone else. You guys see what I'm saying here? Andrew Weiner, he's had troubles as well. Go find someone else. And, it's funny because even like your ARK Invest, they're even changing up their strategy. True story. I just got an email before recording this video. They're saying, you know what? We're going to make our expenses not exceed 2.9%, which is still really high. But they're even like trying to change their strategy up. And, it's funny. And I want to kind of, talk about this as well. Just imagine, guys, if I came out and said, hey, everyone, Sam Bankman-Fried is not guilty. He doesn't defraud anyone. He doesn't bribe anyone. In fact, this is the most innocent guy in the whole world. Like, how does that sound? And tie this back to Social Security. Again, don't tie your future. Don't tie like all of your fate into one single thing, right? Think about, okay, you could be wrong on something. You could be wrong, right? And so when you sort of like get through life and you make it as long as I have, I'm telling you, because I'm pushing 50, I know a lot of the young people are watching this, is that you don't know what's coming down the road. You just don't know. And it's okay to admit that you're wrong. Something like, say, FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, don't go down with the sinking ship. Protect yourself, right? Take those sure layups, take those sure things. That's why I talk about CDs. That's why I talk about bonds, these kind of things. And yes, you can throw your money into other stuff. You can throw your money in the stocks. I'm fine with that. Completely fine. But be very, very careful, because a lot of people out there that I just feel like the culture of today on YouTube or otherwise is, to take those risky bets. And when you're wrong, act like you're not wrong, and then defend a loser for forever and go down with the sinking ship, which I don't think is a great strategy. So I want you to do well, and I want you to do well in the future. And I hope you understand the message of this video. So do appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next video.